It's your girl show, and today we are ranking Katee Roberts' Dark Olympus series. If you have never read it, I would say you could try it depending upon if you like mythological retellings, but we're going to get into it and you'll kind of understand why I feel the way I feel about this series as we go down the line. But first, number one, because we're starting out with the bangers first. Number one, to me, the best book out of the series still is her first book, Neon Gods, which is about Persephone and Hades. I absolutely adore their retelling. Okay, I enjoyed their story, and honestly, I think it is some of her best writing in this series. There are some other ones that we're going to get to, 2 and 3, that are also some of her best writing in this series. But the first book is still my favorite. The kink, the BDSM, honestly, the hunching in those books was better than some of the later hunching in the series. That's just me. I have my own reservations about that, but that's number one. Number two on the list is Wicked Beauty. This is Achilles, Patroclus, and Helen, which is now Ares, book. And this not only had some of the best plot we've had in the entire series, but it's well written, and they absolutely had some great sex exploration in this book. I also loved Achilles and Patroclus's relationship on their own. And so adding Helen to it only made it better. I loved the drama and the conflict between the three, or even just the conflict between Achilles and Patroclus as they figured out their feelings for Helen. Great writing. Very good. Honestly, I would be okay if somebody said that was better than the Neon Gods. I wouldn't fight them. I'd say that's okay because it is really good. Number 3, Cruel Seduction, which is Aphrodite, Eris's, and Hephaestus and Adonis's book. So this book was really nice. This is a little farther down the series. Or I guess it might be in the middle of the series, but this was a really good book. This is after so much conflict has happened and there's so many changes going on within the 13, and the gods are trying to get many different roles, or maybe it's not the gods, but other people are trying to make their way into the 13 as a god or a goddess. And this book just had a whole lot of hell going on. But Adonis and Eris's, which is Aphrodite's, relationship was really cool to kind of see, even before it kind of blew up and then they put it back together. But I think this is also some of her best writing. It has great plot. Very good. All right, number 4 is Electric Idol. This is Psyche and Eros' story. This was a crazy ass book. I also think that this is really good. Obviously, if you read this series, you know that Demeter, all of her daughters kind of get their kind of love story, which Psyche is one of them. This is a little earlier in the series, but I think those other 2 books are better than this one. But Electric Idol is also really good. I think this is still some of her best writing, still good plot. Because imagine somebody is hired to kill you, and then they realize, they really attracted to you, and now they don't want to kill you, but their mama still wants you. So I'm not going to spoil nothing, but that was a damn good book, plot-wise. I kind of was like, okay, they going to get their hair, but honestly, midway through the book, I was like, man, Eros might have to die. I was like, this man is kind of crazy. Now, granted, I also understand that his mama made him the way he was. Aphrodite, the original Aphrodite, not the Aphrodite I just recently talked about, because that's Eris. But Aphrodite, the original Aphrodite, oh my goodness, I mean, bad mama jamma. Jealous motherfucker. Just awful. Number 5, I'm going with Midnight Ruin. This is Eurydice, Charon, and Orpheus's book. I love me some Charon. Honestly, if I was just talking about characters, I think character is one of the better MMCs in this book. But the story-wise, this is not better than any of the ones that I've said. Still nice. I love how they come together. I didn't like Orpheus, and I still don't like Orpheus, even if he did get better. Even if he also on his knees doing stuff in the kitchen for folks. I think that this story was cool, but, you know, I think we focused a lot more on the hunching or the relationship part rather than the overarching story. And this is where I start to have a problem, I think, in the series. All right. Number 6, Radiant Sin. This is Apollo and Cassandra's story. Now, what's crazy is I enjoyed the plot. This was a turning point in the series plot-wise. But it's crazy because I didn't really care for their hunching. I was like, I don't really like them together. And Cassandra, you know, her backstory and everything, it was like, okay, I get it by her parents. And Apollo sitting up here. I don't want to call him weak, not weak as in, oh, he's a weak man, but he kind of felt weaker as a god in comparison to all the other gods or goddesses or important children that we met. And so kind of seeing him be thrust into all of the craziness, and then we kind of never hear from him. I know he's in the background somewhere, but we kind of never hear from him again too much after this book, and the book that's after it is kind of just like, I didn't really like it. Number 7, we have Stoneheart. This is the kind of, I guess this is the prequel before Neon Gods, because this is a story about Medusa and Calypso. I put this here because even I think that this novella, because it's technically much shorter than the rest of these, that this novella is better than the next 3 books. And honestly, who don't get down with Medusa retelling? I do. And I also like how they come, Medusa and Calypso kind of come into play a lot more as you get later down the series, because they are working with Hades. And I love I love Hades. That's number 1. I love Hades in this series. Hades is a man, and honestly, he's the best MMC in this series. That's just me. Now here we get to my 3 most disliked books, 8, 9, and 10. Number 8 is Dark Restraint, Ariadne and the Minotaur. The reason why I hate this book is because I don't think they should have been together. I get why they were, but I don't think they should have been together. I absolutely hated their relationship together. And I don't care if, you know, they realized, I hated their love story. Okay, so I didn't really like it. Now, granted, the family dynamics within this book are really good. Understanding more about the Minotaur, more about her brother who's coming up next, and their father Minos, important. So good stuff that way, but I did not love their love story at all. I hated it, actually. Number 9 is Sweet Obsession, Poseidon and Icarus. Now, when I read this book, I was like, are we serious? I was kind of upset because I was like, okay, we're getting a solo dolo gay story. Cool. But then I just was like, but this is the one story where we got a older man with a younger dude that is technically his prisoner. I was mad at that. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I was really mad at that. I was really mad because technically Icarus was Poseidon's prisoner, and they ended up in there having their little happily ever after. I didn't like it. I didn't like that at all. I didn't like their relationship dynamic. And even though in the most recent book, which is the last one, even though Poseidon was like, hey, I'm about to bow out of this God shit, which is completely unthought of, But he said, I'm gonna bow out of this God shit because I want to tend to my man. I was like, hey, you know what? Good for you. But I still didn't like their book. I did not. Last but not least is Tender Cruelty. This is Zeus, which is Perseus. So not the original Zeus that that we're talking about in the beginning of the series. And Hera, which is Callisto, which is also Demeter's daughter. I'm about to get into all of the crazy history, but one thing I'm gonna tell y'all is I hated this book. And I read this book recently. I hated it. I did not like their relationship at all. I mean, honestly, they were hate hunching like for 70% of the book, if not more. I might even be downplaying it, okay? They didn't like each other, and even though I knew they were going to get together, I was like mad that they was going to get together. They don't deserve each other. And it's like, obviously Callisto, because she even said it in the book, like, hey, she was putting all her family shit on her back. I get it, but technically no one asked her to do that, and she still ended up kind of doing some of the things that her mother wanted to be done, because her mother wanted one of her daughters to be Hera, and she did do that, even though she didn't do it for herself. And Perseus, even though he was not a horrible person like his father, it really just was, you know, I don't know how else to put it besides the fact that I just didn't like them together. I really didn't. And I'm hoping that the final book, which I am hoping is a banger, because the final book, Shattered Gods, is about Hermes, Atalanta, and Circe. I'm hoping this book is flat out amazing. This is going to be the first 3-person relationship book that is all women in this series. I'm excited for it. I hope that she does the right things, because she got some heavy hitters in this book. If you read this series, you know Hermes ain't no one to play with. You know, Atalanta did her thing in Wicked Beauty, and Circe has been running shit behind the scenes. So if Katee don't bring her A game in Shattered Gods, it's gonna mess with me. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I will come back and update this list in a note or something after I read that book, because I know that book just came out this month. But I'm probably not going to get to it this month because I have so many other things to read. And this series is a series that I'm reading with my book club, and we're currently reading something else. Actually, we're reading Sunrise on the Reaping. And I think, to be honest, that Katee might have fed into book talk a little bit more than I wish she did in some of the later books. But I'm happy that I stood strong and hung on to finish the series. And I'm looking forward to reading the last book, Shattered Gods. But I have not enjoyed too many of the last 3 books, which is why they're last on my list currently. But we're going to see how number 11 does. And I'll see you guys next time.